was an interesting moment for me at the time because I really wasn't seeking someone or anyone, I should say. I just hoped if I did meet someone that they would be a positive person to meet. Everything he was saying and doing was making me fall in love with him.
Oh yeah? I know every judge and lawyer. Oh yeah?
Fighting over custody. A lot of people quit going, that's just how it got to be. But she keeps on fighting and it takes a lot of guts.
No justice, no peace!
You two are like two immature cartoon characters.
Objection. Where's any of this evidence of this?
Order.
I'm sanctioning you for $15,000.
I have a right to see my son.
This is all about a child. A poor boy born into a battle.
Even with your lies, I gotta survive. Said I'm gonna survive, I gotta survive. Even with your lies, I'm gonna survive, gotta survive. Said I'm gonna survive.
This is not justice!
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
No peace, no justice!
You're trying to have a judge removed.
I'll sanction her for thousands of dollars for coming to court.
How much money is Mr. K-Man, Mr. Gee paying you and your fellow judges to keep this woman away from her child?
Said I'm gonna survive, I gotta survive. Even with your lies, I'm gonna survive, gotta survive. Said I'm gonna survive, I gotta survive. Even with your lies, I'm gotta survive, gonna survive. Said I'm gonna survive, I'm gonna survive. Even with your lies.
This is the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show. Dr. Meleeka Clary is a clinical psychologist, actress, director, model, and human rights activist. On this program, Dr. Meleeka guides you toward a more fulfilling life through the power of positive psychology. And now, please welcome your host, Dr. Meleeka Clary.
Welcome to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, powered by Sweet Recordings. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, I have to thank God for another day to be able to do this show and be able to say I love you to my loved ones. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Always got to give, thanks because you never know what one's going through. And that's something that I want to talk about today because, we don't know what happens every day. We don't know. Because I think if we knew what was going to happen the next day, some of us would say, I'll pass. You know what I mean? And I have to say that, but we don't know. But you never know when somebody gets a phone call and some disturbing news and some issue that might happen. And you're just like, wow, okay, I didn't know that was coming. And you have to deal with it. And how do you deal with it? There's no real right answer how to deal with disappointment or bad news, especially medical issues and stuff like that. And that's something that, I went through. And I'm going to share my information. And, it's not important of what kind of medical. It's just the fact of how one dealt with it. And there's no right, wrong answer to how you can deal with news that it's going to, mess up your mood or make you feel depressed or, sad. How's that? And even the doctor, I'm a human being. Like I always tell you, I'm a human being. And I wake up to things that I didn't know I was going to wake up to this interesting information. And then I listen to other people and how they go through things. And it's like, I wish I could just hug everyone and say it will be okay. I don't know it's going to be okay. But I do know that you'll be okay. In the midst of the storm, it doesn't feel like it. But you will be okay. Because no matter how you look at it, the worst things that happen to us is we deal with death and grieving and all that stuff and losing a loved one or going through something and watching a loved one, feel sad and sick or ill and watching their pain. That's a problem. And we feel that, people care about their people, their family, their family loved ones and their friends. And, we don't want to see them go. We don't want them suffering either. So I get it. But then there's ways we have to deal with that. And it's not easy. And I'll tell you, it's not easy. So I do want to say that, I have a great guest today. I mean, he's my mentor for one, my ride or die, my mentor. He's been with me since my early times in my PhD. And the thing about it, I just love having him on my show. Plus, he's my mentor. So, he's got me, even if he didn't like it, but I know he likes it. So he's with me. But this is my journey of sharing and caring. So I'm very grateful that, he decided to be a guest on my show. I'm not going to introduce him yet because we're eventually going to take a commercial. But I will say, down here, you'll see on the red, you can Google me and find me up on my website, the drmeleekaclary.com, and my social medias. And if you're watching, then you're watching me live. Yes, on Facebook, on the page, or Instagram, or YouTube. So that's that new Dr. Meleeka Clary show. I like that. I really do. I like change. It's difficult sometimes to get your mind wrapped around change, but it's okay. Once you get the hang of it, it's like a little baby, you start walking and, it feels like you can't get up and then you fall back down, but eventually you get back up and you keep on, you run, and you wish they can go back to not walking as much. So, which me, it's like, yeah, I know it. And now I want more, feed my mind with more changes. So I don't like to be intimidated by anything. So that's one thing. But I do want to give a shout out and, to the Munn family. My prayers are with you guys. Honestly, I love you guys. And I just hope that everything goes well with what you're going through. And so, and that's one thing I will say, and anybody who's going through anything, because you don't never want to hear anything going wrong with anyone. And as much as I would love to, like I said, stop the pain, I don't have that, but I can pray for you and let God take his course and be with you and hold you and tight and bring you together in that sense. And that's the best thing I can do. So my prayers are with you. And with that being said, like I said, I have my, I'm going to take a brief commercial. And we have amazing guests. He is amazing guest. I just love him. So I will take a commercial and we'll be right back with my amazing guest on the Dr. Meleeka Clary show, powered by Sweet Recordings. Don't go nowhere, fam. We'll be right back.
Dr. Meleeka Clary is an award-winning director, actor, model, paralegal, clinical psychologist, and YouTuber who focuses on raising public awareness of judicial deception and the importance of mental health. Clary has won several accolades and awards for 3 corners of deception, including Best Human Rights Director and Best Female Director at the Toronto International Women's Film Festival. She joined HMWP Psychology Counseling in 2019 and has since been creating content for YouTube. Dr. Clary's work has been praised for its insights into the criminal mind, and she continues to be an outspoken advocate for justice.
And I wanted to do the show, which I was asked to do so, but I had to do it my way. And my way is this: I want to know, who are you? I mean, I could tell you what I am. I'm a filmmaker, I'm an actress, I'm a mom, I'm a doctor. But who am I? Who do I identify myself as to myself? You have a lot of people walking around here and they don't know who they are. Mm-hmm. And that's what it's about. It's who are you? Because I interview celebrities, I interview doctors, lawyers, average folks. I mean, you could be a nurse, it doesn't matter. I'm going to interview, but I'm not just going to interview about you. I'm going to interview, who are you to you? Who do you identify yourself? Because believe it or not, that's a very interesting question. And a lot of times it's hard to answer.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't understand that.
You're a clinical psychologist.
Yes.
Filmmaker.
Yes.
Actress.
Yes.
Model.
Yes.
How do you find the time to everything?
Well,
it's amazing. Many congratulations with everything.
Thank you. I think life, that's what it is. I mean, I'm 50, so I have a lot of life there. So experiences and challenges and, things I wanted to do in life.
I just love, I can feel the passion of that you have for your work. Yes. I can feel that. And you and I have only just met this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But you have so much involvement with people, your patients, clients, and you love it, don't you? You really do.
I do.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, powered by Sweet Recordings. Welcome back, fam. We are back. Okay, get that commercial. Hey, don't forget to see that movie, Three Corners of Deception. It's still on Prime Video. And thank you for all your support. If you have watched the movie, thank you. I appreciate you very much. And following me and sharing is caring. So I really appreciate all my fans. Thank you so much. And all the love again for all the shout outs that you sent and prayers for my mom. She's doing a lot better. Thank you, God. She's doing a lot better. So with that being said, we are going to bring out my amazing and my mentor and my idol, Dr. Grant. Come on in here. Hey, Dr. Grant.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. A little tired, but doing fine.
Okay. A little tired. Okay. You can be tired. Are you serious? You know what, Dr. Grant, it's just a pleasure to have you on the show. But I'm going to get into some things that even myself, and I've been, and I'm not sure if you heard, I think, yeah, I did. Maybe I talked to you about certain things about myself, but through the midst of the storm of medical issues or anything like I've heard that I had to deal with within the last couple months, I also had to deal with my mom who's ill for the last couple months back and forth. Mm-hmm. She's getting better, but still it's just was a rocky moment. But one thing that I want your advice on, and like I said, I'm a fan to you. And so when I hear something from you, I also take that to heart as well. There's no real way to deal with news, let's say disappointing news or unexpected news, especially when you deal with a medical situation. And I asked this question, what is your intake? Is it a best way, or is there really, just your intake about it? Because I asked this question and I mentioned this to you because I was told or maybe criticized, because I chose to go out of town and enjoy myself because of the kind of noise, and I say noise now, and because of the news that I heard about myself, and kind of got scared and said, if this is going to be my life, if I'm going to either die or not die, I'm going to leave out of town and try to enjoy my time and not think about it because I'm not 100% sure what's going on with me. And when I say criticize, unfortunately, I've heard this on a court situation. I say this and people do know some of my business, still in court with my ex-husband on stupid stuff, but people need to have compassion. And I bring this up to you because this is how I handle going out of town, enjoying myself, not knowing what news this was going to bring to me. Either I'm going to have a long-term suffering or up and down, or there was going to be something that was going to end and I was going to have to deal with that. So I know we're going to go on break. I know I just uploaded a bunch of stuff to you, but I really want your intake because how I feel about that situation is that no one really knows the best way how to take any bad news or news that you did not expect, especially any medical issues. And if you handle it in a different way, that's how you handle it. You shouldn't be criticized how you handle something. It's because that's how you handled it. And I have to say that to you because I always preach this to many people. Sometimes it's best to go out of town and just take off and just think about it later, or try not to think about it. And sometimes it's inevitable for somebody not to think about this news. But if it's not 100% sure what it is, then you're just going to put yourself in a depressive mood, not knowing anything. So why not try to take it out of your mind and do something, and or be surrounded around something that's going to bring you some type of peace or joy, just for a little bit, just a little bit. So with that being said, I want you to be able to comment on that, because we deal with human people. We deal with the mental state of mind. We try to stay positive, and we try to let people know that you are not alone. And on that note, I'm going to take a brief commercial, and I'll remind you back. I'll remind you. Okay, we'll take a brief commercial. We'll be right back with amazing Dr. Grant, and we're going to get some insights of what he's going to say about what I just said. Be right back with Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, powered by Sweet Recordings. Don't go anywhere, fam. We'll be right back.
Can you tell us about your show, the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show?
Okay, well, the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on Bold and Brave TV, that is about identification of oneself. So it helps people to start talking and communicating how you feel, what's going on, but not just that. Because that's how depression happens. That's how anxiety happens. Because we're not talking anymore until something really happens. When I ask people about the identification of oneself, I start asking you, what about challenges in your life? Can you tell me, how did you get through it? Because we got many people out there that doesn't understand, like, okay, you're just like me. Well, let me tell you, you are. I don't care what color you are.
Right.
You're still a human being, and you're still, you know, you go through challenges, but show me or explain to me, how did you get through it? And some people come with stories that's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you went through it. But here's my viewers, you're just like me. And that helps other people to say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna attack this. I'm gonna stay in this life one day at a time. If that person can go through it and get through it, I can too.
Oh, look at this huge group here. They look fantastic, especially this guy at the back here. Look at this. Look at this. Look, ta-da, ta-da. Oh! Get off my... Yeah, I was like, oh, get off my foot. Tell us about you guys.
Well, they're from Boston. I'm from Indianapolis. We're here with Three Corners of Deception movie. Here's the director right here, Dr. Meleeka Clary. I'm Will Garth, the cinematographer. Our movie can be found on Amazon Prime. We have some of the actors and cast. We got Lance Lacconi, the promoter, executive producer. These are also her daughters, her sister, her friend. We're all here. We're all big family.
We are family. Wow.
Production manager, actress, all in the movie Three Corners of Deception. Hello, promoter Lance Lacconi. Say hello. Hello.
He's the Godfather, right?
I know, the Godfather.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show. We are still with the amazing and handsome Dr. Grant. Come on in here.
Okay,
all right. Now, Dr. Grant, before we went on break, I was talking about how people deal with bad news or unexpected news, and including myself, as like I said, being criticized because I took off and went on a vacation and felt like I didn't want to deal with anything. I want to be happy and look at something beautiful. So what's your intake about that?
Okay. Well, to begin with, I'm sorry you've had to struggle with bad news.
Thank you.
That, dealing with that alone is usually harder than it is to deal with the presence of people that care about you. You know, I was thinking, one of the things that my meditative experience for some years now has taught me is that something will happen, and we don't know what it is that will happen. And we know that generally we have been equipped to manage whatever life throws at us, and we probably will manage to handle whatever life throws at us now, even though it's a new thing, even a new, scary, sad thing. When I'm working with people going through something like that, I generally try to help them find and me find with them what their sources of strength have been throughout their lives, and it helped them notice that those strengths are still available no matter what the current circumstances are. Now, it seems to me that one of your strengths has been your ability to find ways to enjoy yourself. Some would say to distract yourself from things that you can't control, and so it doesn't seem like there's any particular point in pondering them. And I think we all do need times when we can just set whatever it is aside and focus on something that we know we love. Uh, the trick becomes, okay, how much of that is too much? And of course, that amount for me might be different than the amount for you. There does always need to be some time to kind of check in with oneself that, okay, this is going on with me. I feel X, Y, or Z about it. I'm coping with it in such a way which I either do or don't like. If I notice I don't like it, I can change it. And when that's gotten to sort of where your cup is full, then it may be time to go watch a movie or enjoy a concert or be with a friend. But it's not all or nothing, and it's not the same every day. What I need today is probably different than what I needed yesterday, and don't know what I'll need tomorrow.
I'm so glad that you said what you said. Thank you so much for that. And I mentioned that because is that I always have to give my viewers the real, because I am still a human being. Dr. Grant's a human being, regardless of what our profession is. It's just that we go through things, heartbreak, disappointments, and I want to make sure people understand how you deal with something. It's how you deal with it. And if I just hope that many people can understand, take it to a positive. And the positive is try not to hurt yourself or try not to be so down and depressed that you just made yourself just sick. And that's the thing about it. Even it's not always the case that somebody could just go out of town and stuff, but that's the way I deal with things. And it could be walking a park or walking or go on boat or kayaking or anything like that. It's just that and like Dr. Grant said, it's nothing that I can control. I had to sit like just a sitting duck waiting for information that didn't know what was going to go right or left. At the end of the day, whatever information, it just wasn't the greatest because I lost something, but I didn't get the worst of something, but it still was worse in a sense because it was something that happened to me in my body. And people deal with different things, and if you're going through something and you're hearing some bad news or something that you're going through, you know what? If you want to check out, and I mean check out and put that on the table and say, I don't even want to deal with it right now, and give yourself a break, like Dr. Grant said, give yourself a break. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, one of the things that comes to my mind is that the distractions have to be kind of carefully measured out, because of course many people distract themselves from bad news by doing things that hurt themselves more.
That's right.
That you can do that with booze, or you can do that with sex, or you can do that, with all of the different things human beings get addicted to. And so I suppose one thing that anybody who's going through a challenging time where they don't know what the outcome is going to be needs to do occasionally is to check in either internally or with a trusted friend about, do you see me doing anything that's going to harm me? Because you don't need any more harm. It's, there's a lot of people when they're going through a difficult time and are depressed, they drink more. Well, we know alcohol is a depressant. It does not help depression go away. It makes it worse. And that's true of a lot of things that we get over invested in when we don't want to pay attention to our lives. But sometimes you can get bogged down in your life, and it's important to allow a safety valve and to choose it well.
I'm glad you said that. It's when you're going through something, it's hard not to go down that spiral of depression. It's hard. And I can't say that, there's a choice that need to be made. And my choice was, no, I'm not going there. I'm not going to have a pity party, but I will try to enjoy what I can enjoy, and I'll deal with that later. And that's how I dealt with it. And I just encourage many people to do the same. I know, go ahead, Doctor, you want to comment on something?
Yeah, I was thinking that there's a real difference between depression and grieving. And often, when one is in a medical crisis, one has a lot to grieve. Either, the loss of function, the loss of body parts, the loss of relationship, and allowing oneself to be sad about that and to express and feel the sadness is an important part of moving through the experience. Depression usually happens when that former kind of experiencing things isn't allowed. And so the feeling kind of gets bottled up inside and is paralyzing. It's a very heavy, sticky feeling. Grieving tends to feel freeing rather than sticky and heavy and something I can't get. Grieving comes in waves. You get, 10 minutes to feel just god awful about something. And it kind of runs its course, which is why some people get over the loss of a loved one in a month, and some people it takes years. So it's important for the grieving to happen as a way to not get depressed.
You know what? Thank you so much for that. There's a process, and everybody does it differently, but it's okay to process it and deal with it the way you want to deal with it, but as long as you're not hurting yourself. And you got to take care of you first. And I'm so glad you said it, because that's important, and that's what I want people to understand. Taking care of you mentally first, so you can, help others or be there, or whoever loves you want to be able to see you healthy mentally. And that's so important. And on that note, we are going to take a brief commercial, and we will be right back with the Dr. Meleeka. We'll be right back with amazing Dr. Grant. We'll be right back.
Tell me about the podcast, why you decided to do that.
Well, one thing about that is many people do not understand the identification of oneself. And I thought that was very important. I know that there's many people out there that are like lawyers, doctors, judges, celebrities, whatever the case may be, but they are a human being. And I always want to know, who do you identify yourself as? And I think that's so important.
But it's about life. It's about things that happen. And I'm a person, a human being. We share that in common. I'm not perfect, and I don't act like I am. I have to explain my challenges and my testimonies and things that I went through or I go through. Every day is a challenge. I have to stress that, because today you get up and you're like, oh, wow, this is great. But there is days it's not so great. And you know what? That is life. Sometimes it's a pause in your daily task or things that you want to complete that day and you just get hit with a curveball and you got to figure out what you're going to do. And that's what life is all about.
Our movie can be found on Amazon Prime. We have some of the actors and cast. We got Lance Laconey, the promoter, executive producer. These are also her daughters, her sister, her family. We're all here. We're all big family.
We are family. Wow.
Production manager, actress, all in the movie Three Quarters Inception. Hello, promoter Lance Laconey. Say hello. Hello.
He's the Godfather, right?
I know, the Godfather. Yes, he is.
Well, congratulations and enjoy.
The Dr. Meleeka Clary Show is on Bold and Brave TV network. That's a global broadcaster show everywhere. Now, what it is about the identification of oneself. And I ask that question because not many people identify who they are. You could do a lot of things in this world, but you don't know who you are. And it's not about you being a doctor. It's not about you being an actress or a celebrity or a server. It's about you being a person first. You have challenges in your life. And what do you go through? And what's your belief mechanism? What gets you up out of that bed? What makes you think? What makes you love yourself? Because some people, they don't. We're going to get to it.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, powered by Sweet Recordings. We are still with the amazing Dr. Grant. Come on here, Dr. Grant. Welcome back. Dr. Grant, before we went on break, and we were talking about grieving, and we talked about how one would deal with it. There's not really one right way to deal with grieving or bad news. Or one thing I did hear that you said, it's okay to be sad. And I think that is so important. It is okay to be sad. But the reality of that is also okay to come back to the situation so you can go through the process. And I do understand that people sometimes they don't want to deal with it. And when they hear something, they don't want to deal with it. It's not recognized. This is not right. This is not true. I'm not going to deal with that. That could cause a person to have a mental breakdown eventually because you're not dealing with something. And I think that that's not the best direction for people, because even if I had bad news that I heard, I still was going to deal with it. It wasn't 100% what way it was going to go for me. I just didn't want to worry about it when I didn't know exactly what it was yet. That's kind of the thing about it. And I think sometimes when you don't know, that scares you the most. But you could put yourself in a really bad situation if you're not 100% sure. It's scary. They probably, a lot of physicians might say to you, it could go this way more so. And that it is a scary moment. But if you're not 100% sure and you still got to wait for tests and it takes a while, you're going to have to try to bring yourself in an environment that is more positive. And I think that's where friends and family comes, therapy or anything like that. What's your intake, Dr. Grant?
Well, I was thinking of how in the Jewish community there's the custom of sitting Shiva after a death. And the times that I've been able to participate in that sort of experience, because I have some family that are of that persuasion, one of the things I'm struck by in it is that very often people don't talk. They just be together and kind of experience one another's feelings about the events that are going on. And I can remember during some difficult times that I would want to be with people, but I wouldn't necessarily want to talk to them about what I was, encountering in my reality or what I was feeling. But it was very important to me to have the other present. And I think very often people show up at, a bedside or, in some gathering, either during the process of a trauma or after it, and they feel like they've got to talk. Only there's no right thing to say. Um, and so people find ways of filling up airtime with stuff that's inane or sometimes downright inappropriate. Um, Whereas what's really important is the presence. It's the thank you for being here. Um,
Yes.
you know, another way I want to kind of get into that is there's a couple of basic ideas about how human beings work that I've come to believe. One is that we all have ideas about who we are and how we should be. And very often those ideas don't match up with kind of what's going on underneath that thought process. And I think the job of any caring other, whether it's a professional person or just a neighbor, the job is to help the person listen to themselves more. Like when, because I believe that all of us have things that we know about the world that nobody else knows. And it's real important that we honor that believing and kind of follow it where it leads us rather than being dissuaded by kind of our ideal about, what should an old white guy look like or what should he do? A middle-aged black woman look like? What should she do? Because none of us fit either the world's ideals or our own. Uh, and discovering what moves me is a route to being able to decide to have more of it, whether we're in grief or a crisis or not, but especially when we are in grief and or a crisis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I'm preaching, and I
Oh,
better
it's
stop
okay.
preaching.
I'm telling you, I'm a fan. I mean, because like I said, sharing is caring, and even myself, I use myself as an example. I started my platform utilizing my example, my life, because one thing I've noticed in over me, like about me, is that years ago, I wasn't boisterous. I lost my voice on the way. Some people will say, you were always boisterous, but there's situations and different relationships that held me to feel like I couldn't voice my opinion. So I will not do that again. So when I voice something is bothering me, I have no problem. Judging is not something I care about, because if I can go through something and I can share what my experience to help another person, because you never know. They may be going through the same thing. Then that's what I'm gonna do now. And that's the choice I decided on my way out this door. I'm going to share what's bothering me. And maybe I can help somebody else understand you're not alone. And you're not. But if you are in a situation that you feel like, you can't deal with something, I'm just telling you that I felt like that too the last couple of months. I've been dealing with things with myself. But then I also have a elderly parent, and she was sick back and forth. And me. So it's like the caregiver is sick and the elderly mom is sick. It's like, oh my gosh, double whammy. So what did I do to get out of that? I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I asked God to help. And He sent people in my arena to help, to either lift my spirits up or bring just the I understand, or just listen to me vent. And didn't really looking for an answer of why this. Didn't have a pity party and say, why me, why me? I just dealt with whatever I had to deal with. And now, don't get me wrong, it's okay. People do feel like, they want to say, why me, why this, why this. I understand. You heard it from Dr. Grant. It's okay to feel sad. But give yourself a break too. Because sometimes I think that we can really be harsh on ourselves and it make worse the situation because we're just trying to get all these answers that you might not have it. You might not have an answer to just because that just happens like that. And so that's what I'm doing right now is I'm sharing information because I need people to understand no matter what you're going through. And you are if you are these people too, and I specifically say if you're in the court system, and don't get me wrong, I had some leniency with the court system, but there's other people that I felt like it just didn't make no sense. This is a personality issue, compassion for others. And regardless if you want to believe them or whatever, the point is having compassion for others. Because I don't know how many people want to make up things about the medical stuff about themselves. I'm just not that kind of person. But people do, I guess. But here's the thing about it. I don't think and I don't want to believe that that's the goal is to make people feel sorry for you when something's not going on. I love life too much. I don't want to lose a day or a second. I really don't. Even the good and the bad, I'll take it. Regardless of what I went through in my life and what I go through, I want to keep going until God says, okay, you really, really need to come home. And I don't want to do it yet. I'm fighting and kicking, and I'm fighting and kicking even my loved one. So you already know. So when I tell you all the things I've been through, it's just that I just want to make sure people understand I'm fighting this battle with you in life, that I don't want to have a pity party of why me. I really want to have a party to say, okay, I'm going to get through this. I'll deal with something like this day. Tomorrow's going to be a better day. Keeping positive as much as possible is so important, people. We need that. And we need other people to understand that. Compassion goes far. And I think we're losing that. We're losing that in people, that we're not having compassion about others. And you're just coming up with your own ideas of negativity. And that's the problem I think we have today. I think if we realize it and really think about it, start thinking, hey, this could be you. You want somebody to feel like that about you? Think about that. And I don't know if you have anything to say about that. What I just said, Dr. Grant, you want to add something to it? Because I know yeah.
Yep, I do. I was thinking about compassion, and it occurs to me that it is easier for people who have experienced compassion to provide it. There's an aphorism in our business that hurt people. And often people who are not compassionate are not compassionate because they have experienced the world as assaulting them. And of course, it is possible to diffuse that earlier life experience and have a person grow in the capacity to be compassionate, but it doesn't happen automatically. It happens if a person notices in themselves that they're having trouble responding to the needs of people around them. And of course, often people around them will help them notice that they're not responding to those needs, and often that will end up, what gets them to land in our offices is somebody having said, "I need something from you that I'm not getting." And rather than a defensive response, finding, well, okay, tell me more. What is it that you're not getting that you want? And that's how compassion grows. But I guess I'm wanting to underline the notion that the person who is not compassionate isn't uncompassionate simply because of original sin or some other basic human flaw. It's that they have been taught somehow that compassion either doesn't work or isn't available to them. And it's mad, and that makes it harder to care about the other.
That's a good point. Very good point. Thank you for that, because that's something to think about, people. And if you're around someone like that and you feel like they don't have compassion, it could be because it's a learned behavior that they didn't learn it. And they feel and whatever happened to them. And maybe something bad happened to them that they felt that they weren't getting that from someone. So why show it? These are learned behaviors. It's like a person being hurt could show being hurt, or want to hurt somebody else because they hurt. And it really goes into even more. You can get down really into it. If a person don't like themselves, they're gonna definitely try to get you not to like yourself, and that's something too. Yep. So with that being said, whew, I hate to bring it to you, but I was feeling something, so I had to bring it to you. And I always got to use myself as an example, because I'm not a perfect tool, and I have to share that. So that's my mission. And on that note, we're going to take a brief commercial, and we'll be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, powered by Sweet Recordings. Don't go nowhere, fam. We are still going to be with the amazing Dr. Grant.
Actress, producer, writer, you've done so much, leading you to Three Corners of Deception. This is an important role for you. What's that about?
The movie is about, judicial deception, but it's also a romance. It's girl meet boy, boy meet girl, or whatever the case may be. But, on a Memorial weekend, it was a wonderful moment. But unfortunately, things end differently. It's not that you know that person when you first meet a person. It's unfortunately that happens. But the movie was more than just that. Nothing that I would even think to think about.
Now, I always tell people communication is so important. If you are feeling a certain way, what's the best way? Accept it and talk about it. How do you feel about this situation? Talk about it. That's the best advice, is talk about how you're feeling about the situation. Whatever is bothering you, whatever's you're carrying that weight, talk about it. Because if you release it, you'll feel much better. You might think that, you're going to be judged. If you feel that someone else is in your family, is keep on letting you know all the problems that have happened, and they won't let it go. Let them know, so then you can let it go. Explain how you feel, that I'm letting that go. There was nothing I could have done. And if I did do something, mistakes happen. We all make mistakes, and that's what happened.
So what can you tell us about your upcoming film, Three Corners of Deception?
Well, Three Corners of Deception has been out publicly last year.
Okay. So it's been out now.
Actually, yes, it's been out last year, but it actually been on the film festival circuit globally for about maybe 2 years.
Wow.
86 recognitions all over the world. Wow. So it's on the IMDb 8.0, something like that rating.
Yes,
so
it's high.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it.
The movie, it's about judicial deception, but it started with a romance and girl meet boy, but it didn't end like that. The motivation behind that was more basically judicial deception and trying to give awareness to people that, look, this is things that's happening and it shouldn't happen.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, powered by Sweet Recordings. We are still with the amazing Dr. Grant. Come on, Dr. Grant. All right. You know what, Dr. Grant? It's always a pleasure to have you on the show, and I just love it. And I thank you, because regardless of all the things I've been through or what I go through or what other people go through, I'm appreciative that I can voice my opinion and being able to vent or let you know something and expect you to tell it like it is. And I like that, because it's my therapy as well. That's how I feel. And that's one thing I feed off of Dr. Grant, not just, as him being my mentor, but also because there's things that I bounce off of him that I want to find out, how is this going on and how do I tack this? And I may know the answer, but I want to make sure I'm going the right direction. And sometimes you just want some reassurance, because, it is a learned behavior when you're dealing with things that happen and you don't know what is coming at you in that day, sometimes you're just not prepared. So with that being said, Dr. Grant, is there anything else that you want to just, and we have like a minute or so, just to let anyone know who is going through grieving or just feeling sad, or maybe got some bad news and that you already have said already, if you want to sum it up and maybe somebody's listening on that.
Well, I'd want to make a distinction between learned behavior, which depends a lot on the conscious mind, and the sorts of feelings that we have prior to any thinking that we need to find a way to be faithful to. I think a lot of the trouble in the world happens because we invest more in our ideas than we invest on identifying and responding to our own emotional life.
Yes. Thank you. And well said. I totally agree with you. Thank you, Dr. Grant. We will have Dr. Grant again. Okay. So if I didn't get up everything or you didn't get some more stuff or you were looking for something else, don't worry. Just email me. We'll get to it. Don't worry. All right, Dr. Grant, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the Dr. Meleeka Clary show. And have a good rest of the day and the weekend could come. And, I'll be chatting with you. All right. So thank you. So let me explain to you. As you noticed, the little orange little memo that was going through, it's stating all my social medias. And even if you didn't catch it, it is, you could just Google me. You know what, fam? I had to be real talk today because, like I said, it was just something that happened. And I just was like, no, that's not acceptable behavior to me. And believe me, people might think they were good about that. I just don't think so. I don't think the highlight of that towards the negative was meaningless to me. But that's people. Like I said, and like you heard from Dr. Grant, sometimes you just can't, change people, but you also got to look at the fact that they might be just hurt people and want you to hurt. And that's it. Until they go ahead and deal with their feelings, then maybe they will be better people. But until then, the important thing is that you get out of this is that we have the ability to change. And no matter what you go through in life, you have the ability to change. That's important. And that's something that I want you to take from the show. So I'm going to say, I love you all. If no one said I love you, and I care about you. And I want you to have a wonderful rest of the day and a wonderful weekend to come. And may God bless you all. And if you're going through anything, I pray for you to overcome it. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. Thank you again for tuning into to Dr. Meleeka Clary show, powered by Sweet Recordings. Thank you again, and may God bless you. Take care.
This is the Dr. Meleeka Clary show. Dr. Meleeka Clary is a clinical psychologist, actress, director, model, and human rights activist. On this program, Dr. Meleeka guides you toward a more fulfilling life through the power of positive psychology. And now, please welcome your host, Dr. Meleeka Clary.